What's going on, guys? I'm Tyson.
I'm Indy.
And welcome back to day 2 of the FC RX7 Restoration Rebuild project. Today we're going to be covering a few things. We're going to be doing oil change. We're going to be taking the doors off of the vehicle itself, as well as hand cranking the engine over to make sure that our rotors aren't seized and that our apex seals are properly seated still. Alright guys, so the first thing we're going to go ahead and start with is our oil change. The oil looks pretty good in the engine right now, but once you hand crank an engine over, you want to make sure you have brand new fluids in there. So we're going to go ahead and do our oil change first before we go ahead and hand crank our block over.
Alright guys, so from here on we're going to hit the 19mm to get this oil drain bolt out. Like I said, it's a 19mm. Gotta try and get that bad boy on there. And she's loose. So make sure you have all your vents open properly if you're going to be using the same catch pan as I am. And you're just going to slowly take off the bolt. And there we go. Alright guys, oil's pretty much completely drained out. We're getting like 1 or 2 drips a second. So at this point we're going to go ahead and put our 19 back on. Tighten her back up, and then once I do that, we're going to move this pan slightly over here so we can be directly under the oil filter that's directly above on top of the engine bay. And then we'll pretty much go from there. Alright, so from pretty much here on, we're going to be getting this old oil filter off. And then we're going to replace it with the new one. So just be very careful when you do this, just in case there is any oil that is still within the filter itself. It doesn't look like there's a whole lot in here, but you always want to be careful. And we got nothing in there. Awesome. Alright, and so from here we're going to put on the new filter and just slide her right back on. It's just a STP filter we grabbed from AutoZone. Nothing crazy, nothing special. Alright guys, so from here on we're going to be putting in some Castrol GTX 520 for the rotary. We're going to go ahead and pop this bad boy open real quick. Get our not so little filter system. This apparently takes 5.9 quarts, or 4.9, sorry. And we have 5 quarts with us, so we're pretty much going to be using all the oil here.
Alright everyone, so now we're going to go ahead and get our old battery removed, ready for the new one going in next week, as well as our headlight. So we're going to go ahead and pull the battery. Luckily our terminals are already pretty loose, so it's just a matter of popping them off. Setting them to the side for right now. I want to keep them separately, excuse me, separate. And then we're going to go ahead and pull the battery. Awesome. Alright, now that that's out, we're going to go ahead and pull our headlight because now we have access to the hidden 10mm bolt on the back. ready to crank.
Attaboy.
Now, is it clockwise or counterclockwise?
Always clockwise.
Clockwise, so
You
this
can-
way.
so-
Okay guys, so moment of truth right now. We got the fan disconnected as well as the fan shroud out. We disconnected one of our coolant hoses to make sure we got everything out of the way. It was a little bit of a pain in the butt, but we ended up getting them all off just because the 10 mils that were on the fan itself were a little bit stripped out and rounded, so it took a little bit of finagling, so to speak. So now is the moment of truth. We're going to go ahead and use our 19 mil socket and start hand cranking this engine over. Once we've got about 3 or 4 full rotations on our rotors, we're going to go ahead and remove our spark plugs to make sure that we hear compression escaping through the holes. That's how we know not only are our rotors good, not slipping, but our engine also is creating compression as well.
All right, moment of truth, everyone.
Oh, she's looking good.
Should I do another one, Cal?
Yeah, run it like 3 or 4 times over.
Oh, she feels good, dude.
There was only one slight tension, but nothing crazy. And I think that's just when it makes a full revolution.
Do you guys have the spark plugs out?
No,
No.
Okay.
felt compression.
Okay, cool, awesome, perfect. So we have compression and none of our seals have slipped and everything's good. Alright guys, so we just got the spark plugs pulled out right now. We got all 4, both primaries, both secondaries, off of the rear rotor and front rotor. Now that we know that we have, now that we know that our rotors do spin perfectly, and we have the new oil change done, we're going to go ahead and crank it over 3 or 4 more times, and we're going to feel to see if there's compression coming out of the spark plug holes. We're going to go ahead and do that right now.
A 19 millimeter breaker bar and tire iron, kind of. Let's get it right on there and spinner. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
1.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Oh, I heard that one.
Yes.
Yep, that's all 4.
Hell yeah. Awesome. So we have compression, ladies and gentlemen. This is a good engine. We're ready to start.
Alright guys, so from here on we're pretty much just going to help each other take the doors off and get the harness from the door right here unplugged. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start breaking the other side for you.
Okay. There's those tabs. And then pull this guy out right here. Should be, yep, 2 clips. Alright.
You need me?
Not just yet.
Alright, and this last one over here. Broken.
Perfect. Okay. There's 1 clip out. Luckily for these RX7s, they make it really easy because they do a 2-piece harness. So basically it's on the FD it's going to be 1 large clip about this size. For the FCs it's 2 smaller clips, and it makes it really easy to remove the doors instead of 1 big huge harness that you have to go and unplug and unroute from the ECU or BCM. Alright guys, so we successfully took the passenger side off. We're going to go ahead and remove the driver's side right now. The only part that we couldn't show you guys on camera, just because there's no real way to show it, is these check straps are held on to the frame through a cotter pin, not through a 10 mil or a 12 mil like it typically is on another car. So we're going to go ahead and remove this side and get to it. Alrighty guys, so we had a pretty awesome, successful day today. We found out that not only are our rotors and the rest of our engine cherry, but we have compression. Unfortunately, when removing the spark plugs earlier, one of the pins
For the
basically
coil packs.
for the coil plugs, Basically it ripped out because of corrosion. It completely frayed. So we're gonna have to be replacing that, so we'll be getting a new harness. So that's set, turning the engine over back just a tiny bit, but it's not a huge deal. The harness is extremely accessible. We got the doors off, and we got the oil change done, got the other headlight out, and got the battery removed. So new battery will be going in to crank out the fuel once we get the spark plugs and spark plug wires.
And then next week we're also going to be trying to pull the injectors and get all the fuel, right?
Correct, yeah. So we're going to be pumping the injectors and cranking all the old fuel out of the lines. The tank's already been drained from the previous owner, but we're going to also double check on that as well. But yeah, successful day 2. And any other comments?
No, not really. I just can't wait to get this thing going.
It's going to be awesome. All right, guys. Until next time.
Take care.